All right, we
Yep.
are live, so let me get all my notes in front of me so I know what I'm talking about. All right, welcome, my friends. Welcome back. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander and host of the Krieg Dominion and this show. This is Along the Frontier, an alien campaign. This is actually episode 11. Fire in the Sky is what I've decided to name it. I am the game mother, or game master, storyteller, whatever you would like to call it. With me, of course, are my wonderful players, Rodance, Luke, and Kane. Let's check in with them real quick, see what's new and exciting with them. And while I'm doing that, I promise I am not at all totally teaching my facehuggers how to cross stitch right now. Rodance, what's new and exciting for you, my friend?
I wish I had some face huggers that could finish my cross stitch projects I have sitting on the shelf over there.
I may or may not have wondered when I said that if that was something that you would be interested in. I couldn't remember if you had done cross
Well,
stitch or not.
I have cross stitch, crochet, knitting, the gem thing, chainmail, jewelry,
That's right. I remember that now.
drawing, painting,
Yeah, I remember
and a
you did
couple of
a.
other things are all just in a stack because I am easily bored with my craft projects, so I go through many.
Yeah, I remember you had done like a chainmail dice bag a while back,
I made
like a
one
year
for
ago.
someone.
Like a year ago, you showed it to
They
us.
inadvertently managed to get it stolen.
Wow,
So I'm having to, am ever so slowly remaking it, and it's currently sitting in a wooden box on the shelf over there because it hurts my hand to do it now.
that's
It's very inconvenient.
yes. That's usually how that goes with any of those arts and crafts. You do it because you enjoy it, but eventually your body's like, yeah, I'm a little sore from all of this.
It's very inconvenient.
It very much is. Anything else?
Hmm. No, I am amazed. All of my characters and all my games I've played so far this last week are still alive,
You know what?
and not for lack of trying.
Somebody here at this table is also very lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll talk about veteran Sergeant Rassie. Was it Rassie Van Lucht?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I could not remember Van Lucht and Vanderveld, but I was getting them flip flopped and confused with which one. And yeah. Anyway, Luke, my friend, let's check in with you. What's new and exciting for you?
Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode came out officially a couple days ago, and um, I'm pretty hooked. I'm pretty hooked. Uh, it's if no one's familiar with the Dwarf Fortress game, it's basically just a giant sandbox game where you build a fort with a bunch of drunk dwarves, and
So you're playing
uh,
with Kane, is what I'm hearing. All
potentially
right, Kane.
yes.
I'm sorry.
So the complexity is that the game is completely like procedurally generated
Yeah.
and makes these massive worlds and all kind of stuff. And in adventure mode is where you take one dwarf and then you set out into the world, and then the depth of the world you can go and just explore.
Yeah. Like
And
Minecraft
it's
survival.
mind-boggling. Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
Mine. I see what you did there.
Boggle.
Alrighty. Anything else?
No, pretty much it.
Okay. And with Kane, who has had a wonderful last hour or two,
Like the last 3 hours.
last 3 hours.
I mean, like a solid hour that was driving. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
so I met somebody today, this afternoon, that I'd only ever known on the internet up to today, and you know, without doing video calls or anything, you only ever hear someone's voice. It
Yeah. Yeah.
feels like it's still natural to build an image in your mind of what you think that person might look like based on
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how they talk, the things they talk about, their voice.
Yeah.
So I met this guy, and the first words out of his mouth was, "You look exactly how I pictured you based on your voice."
There is a player in a show that you have been on in AP Gaming Reels channel that when I heard his voice and I later saw what he looked like, I had that same feeling of like, yep, nope, that's exactly exactly what I pictured in my head. And I think the thing that made, and I don't want to draw too much attention to who it might be specifically, but when you hear certain qualities in someone's voice and you can tell uh, some of their facial structures based on the tones of their voice, if that makes any sense at all.
So you're reverse engineering their face from their sound hole.
Basically, when you phrase it like that, it sounds super creepy. But yes,
I had a coworker in my last job who retired. I swear, because I'd known him for years and years only over the phone because we were all remote. And then when we
Yeah.
finally met in person, I swear to God, I thought this was like a big, huge black dude. When I see him in person, he's like a 5'10" thin little white guy. His voice was so deep.
Oh
He
God,
sounded
Liam.
like he was an extra
Or
foot
not
taller.
Liam. Yeah, Liam. Liam is apparently, so you know who I'm talking about when I say Liam, right? From Celasta.
Mhm.
He is evidently he's Asian.
Mhm.
If they had not said that multiple times between him and Rev, listening to him, I've never seen what he looks like, but listening to him in the Celasta show, I never would have thought he was Asian.
Yeah.
For him, he didn't look quite the way that I'd imagined. It wasn't too far off, but he also was trying to figure out how to last minute dress appropriately for the event.
Yeah,
So, have you seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street?
I have.
Yes.
It's been a little while. It's been a few years at least.
His last minute shopping looked like when they were doing their planning and like taping the money to that woman or whatever, the way they were dressed at that point in the movie, he dressed exactly like that. And I made fun of him all night for it.
Well, that's what you do. That's the bro code. You only get closer to your bros by making fun of them.
Yeah. Every time he'd start a conversation with somebody, I'd step in and be like, "Hey, man, apparently, I mean, look at him. Ask him for some blow. I don't know." It's a good time. I had a good night.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's what's new for me.
Well, I'm glad this meetup, whatever it was, whatever the event was, I'm glad it sounds like everything went well. So
It was a good time.
Yeah, good thing. All right, so before we get started with the official show, is there any talent roles or other updates that we need to do for the characters?
I believe I rolled mine at the end of last session.
There was some rolling at the end of the last session, yes. I don't recall specifically. Rodance made a note in here that she needs replacements for electronic tools, Seegson system diagnostic device. So hopefully I don't forget that when it's important. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's where we put in our rec forms for all our stuff that got combat lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I
medical
literally left
request.
them on the floor somewhere.
They're the bottom of a puddle that's got fire above it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, it was a puddle is a way to phrase it. So what am I looking for? I need the
Right, because we also put in those medical requests. We got him his pills, and we put in the request for AW stims.
correct.
Yeah, and
I combat lost a ghillie suit to get another one.
Yeah, and I think I put the ghillie suit on. I think it was Watts that got the ghillie suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he all got his stealthy.
Let's see. What am I looking for? Equipment. Seegson.
Which I believe Pike immediately copied off of him.
Yep.
Okay. I just put the SSDD onto Wescott. We may have to do some inventory management to
yeah,
keep from
I
being
always need
severely
inventory management.
encumbered because you're
I have 2 strength. I'm always encumbered.
I know.
I just write it off.
Don't you have pack mule now?
Not yet. That's the next thing I'm planning on rolling for.
Okay, and then Winston, did we need to give Winston anything? I think he's got everything. I know we talked about.
We gave him.
Oh yeah, we gave him a bunch of never sleep and some nap relief because he's looking at 10 and 7, and 2 med kits, a surgical kit. I think he's good.
Yeah, I still can't use my 12 gauge shotgun because I'm so entrenched in stuff.
Why can't you use? Oh,
No,
it would.
encumbrance.
Oh, okay.
He's got a lot of
It's pretty
stuff.
much on the line, though. I could probably put it on right now.
Yep. Probably.
Or right on the line.
Okay. Am I missing anything else that I need to divvy out now? As far
I
as-
updated my ammo. I updated my food and water. Except the RPG, which I don't get more ammo for. That's not part of my standard kit.
No. No.
I do still have
But
2 more breaching charges that we didn't use that I definitely plan to hold on to.
Yeah. You probably didn't turn those in. You're gonna get more in this mission too, but you don't know that. You don't know that yet.
I could have so many explosives.
Okay. Anything else I need to cover before we get started? I think we got everything. I think.
I think so. I think we're good.
Okay. In that case, tonight we have basically a cold open. We don't have a previously on or a recap. We have just an opening shot of the USS Tambatam approaching an unassuming dark world and beginning to enter orbit from the dark side of the planet. You are awoken by the gentle tones of Mother, who, as you come to, gives guiding directions to dress and assemble on the flight deck. As you arrive, you notice that the only other person there at the moment is an unknown, dark-skinned civilian. And above you, the dropship Friday the 13th is being positioned in the hangar area in preparation for a drop. Nearby is Lieutenant Eckhart, as well as this unknown civilian. However, Eckhart is busy overseeing the dropship being repositioned and getting ready to start loading it and all that stuff. The civilian, once he sees you guys, steps forward and slides a modular computing device into Pike's hands and steps back and motions with a hand to place the device on the deck to turn it on. You would probably recognize this as, in other universes, this would be like a holo emitter.
Okay. Yeah, I like look at the backside of it and then and then position to drop it, sort of like tech stuff, and then push the button and throw it on the
Tech
deck.
stuff, ewy.
Just let me flip it over, make sure it's not wafer size. I don't want to accidentally break this when I push the button.
Yeah, right.
But we're here in combat gear.
Yeah, well, you're dressed up in you're
or
not
just
like
our
combat
utilities.
dressed. It's like the Mother's just said, get your clothes on and head down to the hangar bay.
Okay.
Want me naked. Got it.
Wow.
Everyone's
so-
wearing pants.
Everybody should be at least pants and maybe maybe their blouse. At the very least, their t-shirts. So yeah, once you do the little QB deal emits a hologram of General Vaughn herself, who you may recall as a short, also dark-skinned woman. I think she's actually black. And the civilian probably is more of a Indian, Southern Asian skin tone, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
And then General Vaughn begins speaking in what is very clearly a pre-recorded message. Marines, apologies that I had put you on special assignment without any notice, but it couldn't be helped. We had to get you behind enemy lines as quietly as possible. You are in UPP space right now. Intel found us a black site that these bastards set up just inside their borders, and it's one that's gone and fucked itself royally. Reports suggest the Corinth colony on planet KOI 751.02 has become the victim of their own bioweapons experiment. We aren't sure what the hell they were making, only that it went to hell. All we know is that Corinth is in a bad way, and whatever it caused it was developed at the Norcom Oregon testing facility about 100 kilometers outside the colony proper. Intel says Oregon itself is dead, so you kids get to go in with Seaburn gear, scout the area, download their computer core, and collect samples of whatever they were working on before any UPP rescue efforts arrive. You may have noticed your CO is currently missing in action. Lieutenant Casados and the rest of your platoon are currently on a separate run. Without a lieutenant, Mother will be running the show on this run. She's been programmed by the best, so do what she says. Oh, and the company has generously sent us a biodefense virologist to accompany you, Dr. Neil Babak. He's a big deal smart guy, so do me a favor and bring him home in one piece. Understood? and the image fades. And standing there before you is this individual, presumably Dr. Babak. And he's kind of standing there and he's just like, hey guys.
I'll step forward to reach out to give him a handshake.
He responds with a handshake. He says, well, that's pretty much the gist of it. And I feel like he would have some sort of like a pseudo, not full, thick British accent, but something close to it. I don't know. That might sound a little stereotypical.
Something vaguely foreign.
Yeah.
But not quite, but not super foreign.
Yeah. So basically, as he says, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna go into the facility, find the computer core, download its contents, see if we can't grab a sample of whatever they were working on, and then we're gonna get the hell out of there. Should be a pretty simple in and out mission.
If the colony failed with its own bioweapon, do we know how much time we'd have if we have a breach in one of our suits?
I wish I could give you a good answer. I don't have one.
So we don't know much about it. That's the point of the mission.
That's the point of the mission, is to see what they were working on, grab whatever research information data they have, grab a sample so we can analyze it, and ideally come up with a counter deterrent. But unfortunately, we don't really know a whole lot of what we're going into. That's the main reason why I'm accompanying you guys. I probably figure out stuff once we get on the ground.
All right.
He kind of makes one of those, like, not quite a full side glance to the dropship that is now being lowered onto the deck, and Eckhart is like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to go load this thing up."
Do you volunteer for this?
I mean, this is my field of expertise, so it's kind of like a field trip in a way.
All right.
Gets me out of the office or the lab, as it were. I get to actually go out and do field stuff.
How much field experience do you have?
Oh, that's a great question. Wish I could give you a good answer. Probably not as much as you would like. I hear you guys know what the field means, and I'm just a lab rat that occasionally gets to go out and play in the dirt.
All right. Well,
I don't know if he'd be quite so chipper, but I'm going to play him that way a little bit. I don't know.
Well, the last guy that we brought him back alive, despite him not listening to my instructions. So you'll do better if you
picturing
follow.
my head alive, and then we get a flash cut to Gannon, broken neck, bleeding profusely, life-saving measures. Life-saving measures being applied in desperation. Alive is a technical term for what he was.
He didn't, but he didn't follow all of our instructions. You seem like you're the type that won't be an issue for.
I mean, you're the grunts. I'm the brain. That's I'm sure we can figure it out on the ground.
I mean, I'll tell you the same thing I told him. My special, the shit that we do is the shit we do. The shit you do is the shit you do. If you don't step on our toes, I promise we won't step on yours.
Well, unless any of you happen to know anything about virology in general, I doubt our spheres of influence will intersect. He gives you.
Watts just raises his hand. I'm a designated Seaburn Marine.
Designated? Are you actually Seaburn trained, or are you just designated? They gave you a book and a 10-minute discourse.
I don't know. I feel like Watts might have been the 10-minute discourse person.
Nah, that he would have gone to like 2
he
or
would have
3
gone
months.
to
No, I feel he would have definitely done like the. If
but
not
he
an
had
actual
an obsession with flamethrowers or something.
Yeah, I feel like he would have had at least
him.
if not a full-on AIT, he would have done some sort of like 1 or 2 week long class.
Yeah,
being away from the unit.
We have a Seabird Marine, so if you need some assistance, you've at least got some. You've got someone who's at least familiar.
Somebody
with
that knows the
field,
difference between someone that knows the difference between a vector and a velocity.
So not itchy plants type of viral agent.
No, this is much more microscopic.
Hmm.
Any other questions? I feel like I might be getting in the way here because it looks like they're bringing your 557 or 577. I get the numbers confused.
You have any special equipment you got to bring down?
I feel like he does, but I don't know off the top of my head what it is. Let me see what he's got in his inventory. He has a Seaburn detection kit, a surgical kit, a PDAT, a hazmat suit. Oh wait, there's a list of other stuff too. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I think what he answers with is, I've got a pack that's ready to go once we start loading up onto the 577. Quick side note, out of character, the 557 and the 577 are different vehicles. If memory serves correctly, the 557 is the actual APC in the U.S. military. I might have got that confused with the 577. Further complicating it, we have the 557 point detonating fuse that is used for artillery rounds, and a 577 that was a timed fuse used on artillery rounds, and now we have the 577, which is y'all's APC. So I'm going to be using these numbers interchangeably, but it's going to start with a 5 and end with a 7. The number in the middle, wide open to what it might be.
All right, you've got all your stuff fits in your own pack?
I think so. I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
We're going to a station, or are we going to a station on the ground?
This is a test facility on the ground.
Test facility on the ground. Thank you.
Do you have any maps?
Yeah, I think I can do a map actually. I think you have I think what he produces is like an image of this map marked very similar to what you see on the map. You can kind of come up with like a bit of a game plan, a general area of approach. Obviously, you're gonna, theoretically, you're gonna land somewhere off the map, and you'll drive up in your 577. Ideally, try to get in and out as quick as you can.
Well, we know that the colony has fallen to this site's nonsense.
Yes.
Do we know anything about surviving indigenous personnel in the test facility?
Currently unknown.
Okay.
It's presumed that everybody in the Corinth colony, as well as this facility, despite it being 100 kilometers away, it's presumed dead, but don't be surprised. You're getting kind of a wishy-washy answer from anybody, that, including Mother. You're getting something of a wishy-washy, unknown, incomplete answer. Intel is sketchy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's half the reason why you guys are being sent in, is to see what happened, which may or may not necessarily include like casualty counts, but like we don't know for sure right now. So it's act now before the UPP shows up. Be prepared for anything.
All right. Wescott, stay here with me in the map. You other three, gear up for combat drop and get our equipment and bring it to the flight deck for us.
All right. Mother has over the PA indicates Sergeant Pike, your 577 is prepared for boarding. You do need to assign a driver, however.
I'm going to see. Warren's the rifleman.
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, Warren's going to be the driver.
Okay. I need Warren to make a piloting roll to put the 577 into the dropship. And I'm going to put you guys back on the other map. He did it. He didn't even chip any paint. Oops.
Does Warren have piloting skill?
No.
He's got agility.
He's got enough agility. I think it was just...
Oh, wait. He can buy it now. He succeeded.
He did. And if he's
That's
got
true.
the 5 points, I will allow the piloting skill to be purchased right here on the spot. Does he have 5 free experience points laying around?
He does.
All right. Go ahead and give him that piloting 1.
Piloting 1.
Okay. But yeah, otherwise it's Mother is not really giving out a whole lot of other guidance other than, standard loadouts, etc. You guys did get a few extra things you had applied for, and I think we got that taken care of.
We need to get our chem suits added to our sheets.
Oh, that's probably not a bad idea.
And did Winston's rec form for AW stims come through?
Oh, that's a good point.
I will be addressing that shortly.
Okay.
What am I looking for with this? Is it just a standard hazmat or is it a Seaburn suit? What am I looking for?
It should be on this. It should be on our Seaburn's character sheet because I think he starts with one.
And the Seaburn guy is
Watts.
Yeah, thank you. Seaburn detection kit. Is it the ultra diffusive environmental pouch or poncho?
No.
No.
Yeah, that was an extra roll thing that he got. Okay. Ballistic personnel battle dress.
It might be in his locker.
Military grade hazmat suit.
Yep, that's what we need.
Okay. Is there a way to
Well, you could just
copy and paste
You can
that?
drag it from his sheet onto each of ours, and it'll copy it.
Okay, that's that. I was wondering what was the quick, easy way to do that.
Back.
Likes. All right, if y'all could double check, make sure everybody has that military grade hazmat suit. Appreciate it.
Oh, yep. I need to take it out of my locker.
Yeah, it's probably gonna show up in your foot locker, so you'll have to move it up into your
It's-
active inventory.
For everybody's reference, it's heavy.
You're gonna get weighed down. All right. Any other items of requisition? Mother actually asks you that at one point. She's like, "Is there anything else that you may request for this mission that I may summarily accept or deny?"
I would like some rope.
Some rope? Is that an actual item in here, or can we just hand wave it?
It's an actual item.
Oops, I don't want journal. Rope. Are you gonna string? Are you gonna string more UPP guys up?
No. So I'm looking at like the rope and grapple to give us an option to go over the walls.
Yeah, there's actual polymer climbing rope, and
yeah.
After you have a brief conversation explaining what you're trying to do with it, Mother says, "Aloud," and you hear. So I want to be a funny guy to be like, you hear a door or a hatch sliding open nearby, and you see a 50-foot bundle of rope with a grapple hook attached to one end. Pike is now slightly encumbered.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. I mean, I am also still carrying all the breaching charges, the RPG.
yeah. You're gonna have to do some weight management there. Anything else?
I think our individual marine kits restock to 4 food and water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if they're not already there, go ahead and adjust your inventory.
We get 2 pulse rifle reloads, 2 air in the hazmat suit.
Yeah, make sure your numbers are back up from previously. Somebody just unencumbered.
I just moved the shotgun from Matthew to Leland.
Winston's gonna carry it for Warren, huh?
No,
or vice versa?
I actually was vice versa because it was originally Winston's, and I was like, Warren might have more use for this.
I don't know. You keep failing to the dark side of Pike.
Yeah, I am, and I failed my my compassion roll to learn the skill.
Oh, you have psychopath as a skill now? I don't know. I'm joking.
Probably going to soon.
I need you to
Well,
roll psychopath to keep from killing this guy.
I mean, you won't need to roll wits to learn it. Pike is here to teach you the way.
Oh God, I forgot about that ability.
It's gonna go real dark real soon. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston is gonna get himself killed by just psychopathy.
All right. Anything else? We do have one more brief scene before we move on. It's not even really a scene necessarily, but
Is there anything else either of you two want to try to get?
We get explicit information about what happens if we get shot out of the sky again and all the other stuff. What our response requirements are for if, you know.
who says you're gonna
People
get shot
show
out of
up.
the sky? This isn't like it's a combat drop. Come on.
Yeah, this
I
is a
ask as many
stealthy
questions as I
infiltration.
can think about it.
Yeah, you know what? Here's a good question.
Sure.
Is the Tombaton going to remain in orbit for the duration of our mission, or are we expecting that we're being left here for a period of time?
Mother. I think what happens is Mother says that the Tambatam will be moving into a. I'm trying to think of a good word here. Into an evasive pattern around the planet and its nearby moons.
Okay,
So as
so
to
there's
minimize possibility of being detected before you guys are ready for extraction.
so we have a scheduled extraction time, a primary extraction time.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair bet. You would have some sort of window, and if you miss that window, the next window will be X number of hours later.
Okay.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, 8 hours.
Okay.
I didn't know we were arguing.
I needed to make up a number on the spot, so.
Did we get the requisition drugs?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because as you're overseeing everybody getting all their gear and making your pitching your request to Mother, Lieutenant Heinrich approaches, and he's one of those guys that wears like the fatigues, but then he's got like a white lab coat over the top instead of his military blouse. And you probably would recognize him from your service up to this point, that he is the CMO, their chief medical officer. And he says, "Hey, Sergeant Pike, you got a moment before you guys? I know you're kind of busy getting ready to roll out, but you got a minute?"
Wescott, put together a preliminary entrance plan for the compound. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Yes, sir. Or yes, Sergeant.
Hey, so he reaches in. You know how the lab coats always have those two pockets in the front, right? He's got his hands in there, and he pulls one out, and in his hand is the traditional small pill bottle, and he rattles it, and he says, "Hey, listen, this is completely voluntary. First off, I want to be totally open. Actually, you know what? Bring your medic over here too. I might need to bring him up to speed as well."
Okay. Winston.
All right. So yeah, once Winston shows up, then he's like, "All right, so let me back up. First, there's some paperwork to fill out if you choose to do this, but let me explain what I can initially. This medication is designed specifically for you artificial wombers, which sounds really weird now that I said that out loud. But anyway, for you guys, this is experimental. It's not been fully what's the word I'm looking for yet? Fully vetted, fully developed. Consider it an open beta, if you will. Well, I guess open beta would be a bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Listen, here's a few pills. It's supposed to. Let me see. It's supposed to really. Damn it! I can't think of the word I want to use here. It's going to give you an extreme amount of focus, and it's going to distort your perception of time to a limited degree. You'll feel that you're moving faster. You'll feel like you're able to think and respond and react more quickly than the average person. And the truth of it is because your brain will be able to process information so much faster, you actually are moving faster. And theoretically, perhaps even a little bit harder, stronger to some degree. There are unknown, uncategorized side effects at this point. Like I said, this is still in development, still in testing. And I want you to understand that you have absolutely no obligation whatsoever to take these. But if you do take them, you can only do one per day. That's the current recommended dosing schedule. Anything more than that can really mess up not just our results, but your body.
Oh, what's the projected duration of the stim?
Let me double. I want to say it's a shift. Oh yeah, yeah. It is expected to last approximately 6 to 8 hours. About enough time, as I understand it, for this mission that you're about to go on.
Ideally.
Maybe pop one when you hit the ground. Have your medic take notes, do your job, come back. We'll take a few vitals to see what your new baselines are, and other medical terminology that I don't know, but he would say.
And utilization is at my discretion. This isn't a required medical test.
Correct. There's no requirement for you to do this. This is very much a voluntary situation. If you don't do it, there's a number of AWs out there in the service. We can always get them to do it. Or if we don't get enough testing feedback, then we lose the program. And frankly, I'm okay with that. The Germans did this shit 300 years ago. It didn't work out very well for them either.
Good
or maybe
thing
it was
we're not the
200 years.
Germans.
You know what I'm trying to reference here.
Yeah. Good thing we're not Germans.
No, we're space 80s Americans.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would never do that to our soldiers. Never.
All right. Do you have any questions, Winston?
Take vitals and try to make sure your heart doesn't explode. I would have to assume is your primary
It's gonna
concern.
be, from what I've read, you're gonna get this extreme focus, a change in perception of time. You're gonna have a lot of energy.
Heart doesn't
Presumably,
explode.
this may have an effect on your metabolism afterwards, but we won't be able to chart that properly until after the dosage expires and we can actually start taking measurements.
All right. And I pop open the top and take a look inside to see how many are in there.
There's 3 in there.
Okay.
And again, the recommended dosage is 1 per 24 hours. Let me double check my notes on that because I totally made this shit up the other day when I prepped. My notes are not as organized on this as much as I would like. Yeah, 1 pill. You're given 3 pills, and you are cautioned not to take more than 1 per day. And each will last roughly 6 to 8 hours, is what they're projecting.
Okay.
So what is the getting off of this medication gonna look like? What's the dip?
Well, as one can imagine, when one comes up, things come down. In a very few limited case studies, the patient went into something of a nap mode where they slept for a few hours. Afterwards, they were fine.
So I'm gonna deal with a depressed Pike. I mean,
I don't know if I would use the word depressed, but a lot of energies are being, stored energy is being used while he's active, and when he comes down, the body is not necessarily going to crash. He's totally saying he's going to crash, but he's not saying crash. But he's going to be tired, he's going to be sleepy, and he's going to need that rest until his body returns to something closer to homeostasis, at which point we can, we need to monitor his stats and get some readings, and then as he returns to baseline, see what that looks like.
And if he does choose to do this, we need to make sure the team has some sort of understanding of what's happening, or is this a no situation?
Rest of the team's not read in on me being an AW.
Okay.
Yes, that exactly what he just said. I was not aware of your team status, so you definitely need your medic to understand the possibilities here. There are some concerns for, I'm trying to think of the right word here. There are some concerns for heart rate and circulation, but they are
cardiovascular.
Thank you. But from what I have read so far, they do not seem to be life-threatening. Heart
No,
palpitations and whatnot, I'm sure.
the Pikes were a hardier line. So hopefully my
Was
heart
that
doesn't explode.
before or after the artificial womb program began?
But just like the batch that I'm a part of is a hardier group.
Oh, you're Sibco. I got you.
Yeah, my SIPCO. We tend to lean a little harder into the strength stat. Some are
Again,
fats, some are pallets, some are bricks of muscle.
the
The Pikes are bricks.
Pikes are more leaning towards the elemental side. I got you.
Yeah.
There is some paperwork, and he pulls this clipboard out from like the small of his back with several sheets of paper, and some have your name, Pike, and some have Winston as his, for lack of a better to call it, attending physician. Or I guess I would actually have like medical team lead on it, not necessarily attending physician. That would be his job. But there's some paperwork for you to fill out. Any
I
other?
fill out so much.
But
I fill out so much paperwork at work. I don't want to fill out any at my game.
welcome to the military, my friend. The military would not be able to accomplish its mission without the Adeptus Administratum. As and look, Kane, a second tie-in to our show the other day.
Yeah. Yep. Pike signs the paperwork.
In short, it's a bunch of one. It's information. So like signing is you like I've read and understand that this may do this, this, and this. As you read through it, however deep you want to read into it, you don't really see anything more than what he's told you. So everything he's told you is pretty much
It's just an acknowledgement that this could be bad.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a bit of a waiver in there too, though. But you're already under.
I'm already waved so hard.
Yeah, there's like you can't sue the government if things don't go well, but that was already read into you from the day you joined the military, that sort of thing.
Yeah, my guardian signed it when I was 2.
Yeah. Any other questions or things we want to do before we move to your arrival?
We have a plan.
Would you guys like to talk about your plan?
What's Wescott's suggestion?
I can switch the map over if you need me to, by the way.
That'd probably help.
Okay, so for appropriate landingness, do we have satellite imagery?
I'm pulling it up right now.
So we
Ooh, this is
know
nice.
what the current state of the terrain looks like based on satellite imagery, which is kind of hard to block for the most part because you're literally just picking up light waves.
So the planet or the area that the site is at is kind of a rocky, dusty, flat plain sort of thing. There's obviously some dips and dives as far as elevation goes, but generally speaking, it's pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing for at least 100 kilometers, and the only thing that is the only thing that is out there other than this facility is the Corinth colony, which for all intents and purposes now is smoking crater or a gas-filled crater of God knows what.
So the Corinth colony was a UPP colony, just to confirm that, yes?
Yes.
We're in UPP space right now. We got smuggled into enemy space.
Is there any information that I could pick up in addition? So did they give us any information about the colony in general? Because I'm assuming the information about the colony would also include information about the surrounding area.
Unfortunately, I, the GM, do not have any crazy information about Corinth itself. There might be something in the book, but I don't think there was really a whole lot in
I'm just trying to collect background information, so when we ask random dumb questions later, I would have had the chance.
Yeah.
I'm basically background prepping for my dumb questions later.
Yep, I got you. I think
I'm not actually asking for a specific bit of information. I just want general background knowledge of the area.
I think the background information that you would be able to have is that Corinth was a decent-sized colony, probably a couple 100,000 people at most. Kind of like a small to mid-sized, small to mid-sized city.
A couple 100,000 people is a mid-sized city. Yes.
Yeah. You don't know anything as far as any like specific details, like an accurate population number or import export. anything of that nature. You know it's a UPP colony that was set up on this planet however many years ago, presumably 20 to 50 years ago, maybe longer, maybe less. Um, it was a successful colony. The planet is, as far as you know, short of whatever happened here, is a normal breathable planet. There's probably atmosphere processor units, but as far as like you guys being able to survive there, uh, it should be okay outside of whatever caused this initial meltdown or whatever the fuck happened. Like it's not one of those planets where you need like certain types of survival gear in order to survive. Otherwise, you're gonna die in the first 10 minutes of being there.
Good to know. So does the do we have any information or any indication that they might have anti-air anything over either the facility or the city itself?
Presently unknown.
Cool, that means we can't drop in right on top of it, obviously.
Right, which is also part of the reason why the 577 was being loaded onto the dropship.
So I would have scouted the surrounding area to look at multiple potential drop locations. I pick the most optimal ones based on terrain, but I pick up backup locations in case we are diverted on the way down, as well as backup locations for if we need picked up.
Yep.
I make sure we have both Dead Reckoning maps and updated computer systems for our pickup times and windows, and I make sure all the clocks are all set up and synced and properly, and blah yada yada yada. All the basic ass.
You get a PDAT coming to you from a hatch in the wall that is just big enough to fit the PDAT through, and on it is all it says. On the screen, blinking softly, it says operational data, and then underneath is a list: maps, sync up times, communication frequencies.
So what's Wescott's idea for like the approach and entrance to the test facility?
So with this test facility here, honestly, I think we probably want to pop over the wall and hit the generator and turn the generator off. Because shutting down the power, that's one of those things is we either could shut down the power, which would often shut down any automated security features that they might have, or it would force kick them over to backup. So we have two options for that. We could go the pop in over on the operations side behind operations and only look and dig into the computer side. Or we could pop in and try to take out the power to say cut down on any potential automated turret problems and stuff like that. They're literally on opposite sides because there's value to both of them. And with a civilian, coming with us, we might benefit from the cut power, cut backups option to reduce the potential for automated defenses fucking us over.
Is Babak there, or would you allow Babak to be there in this?
I haven't. I'm speaking session? Directly to Pike. So if Pike stepped to the side, then yes, I would be stepped to the side. But otherwise, I was under the impression NPC boy was still standing there.
NPC boy, okay.
We protect them. They don't even know how to use a gun. Okay.
Yeah, I think Babak, unless somebody
I make
doesn't
sure
allow him
Babak
to
has
speak,
freaking body armor and a helmet with comms in it.
He does.
I'm just gonna tell Bayback to go, pick a comfortable seat in the APC.
Okay, yeah, I think Babak will be. Well, he won't be on. He'll be like sitting on the ramp because he doesn't want to go into the. Like he almost feels like he doesn't know which seat to take because he doesn't want to take somebody else's seat. Even though there's plenty of seats in there, I'm sure, because you drop like 20 fucking people in the back of one of those. If the Aliens movie was any indicator.
I like your generator idea, but I'm worried that if we blow power and it's as effective as we would like it to be, that's also going to cut off power to a lot of the computer systems that we're going to need to get into to succeed at this mission.
Yeah, it's one of those where we can go in and take the risk of not taking out defenses, and if we're opting for being quick. There's benefits to both, but it's probably safer in the faster timeline if we pop into the operations center first.
Yeah, I'm thinking I want to hop over at operations, see if we can take out command and control. And if things are still powered up, if there are automated defenses, if we're in operations, you might be able to change the IFF for any of those systems so they don't fire on us anymore anyways.
Oh yeah. Can I request a freaking translation system, or at least a freaking translation dictionary from Mother?
A list of useful phrases in Russian, German, and Vietnamese is included on the PDAT that I gave you with all of your other operational concerns.
I think Spanish is another big UPP
Spanish.
language.
Thank you. Yeah. I was
Okay,
not maybe
I
maybe not
think-
German. You'd get Spanish.
Okay,
Yeah.
in my next downtime, I'm totally taking the time to learn UPP languages because I'm tired of dealing with this already. If I haven't already done it,
So
that is my
said
new
any
focus.
soldier that might have ever had to go fight the Russians back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Comtech.
Yeah. If there are active personnel between the guardhouse and the security bunkers, I don't want to assault those with a vehicle. We can, but I don't want to unless we need to. I want to have a small team, a partial team, go over the wall, take operations, and try to change IFF and take out command and control. The rest of the team will stay in the vehicle with Bayback so we can keep people with them and keep things safe. If it goes tits up, they can at least back off and come up with a new plan when we're dead.
We'll call it. They're all dead. We need a new plan.
Yeah. If we're gonna do computer bullshit, I need computers to go over the wall. But we're the only two NCOs here. Who's your next best at computers?
Uh,
Well, that's a great looking question.
I know Watts doesn't have any. I don't think either of the other two either. I mean, I would say take Watts because he's both the Seaburn and good with the machinery, and that will help get you in, even if he's not as good at the computers. And once you clear it, I can come in and deal with the computers personally. That's assuming Winston and Warren don't have any at all.
Don't have any at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, well.
Watts is the next best in systems, but he's more physical systems than computer systems.
If you're the only person here with computer training, who's the next smartest person here?
Watts, probably, with 4 wits.
Yeah, Winston with 4 too.
I think you and Watts should have a stealthy stealth. Okay, look.
A stealth off?
Okay, look. I know as the NCO that my dear minion Watts, my dear Marine Watts, has been working ever so hard on his stealth skills. And if you are planning on sneaking in, he's probably the best person to go with you because he is both Seaburn trained and can get you through doors with minimal issue.
And Winston has to go with you too because of reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I'll take.
I'm not read in on that, so.
No. I'll take Winston and Watts over the wall. You and Warren will stay in the vehicle with Payback until I clear you to come in.
Understood.
Warren will stay ready at the wheel.
Are you gonna?
Warren is the driver.
So. Can I request pups from Mother?
Ooh. That might be tough. That's expensive.
Ooh. Let me think about that one. Make a. I mean, I know it sounds a little weird to make a manipulation roll against the computer, but go ahead and make that manipulation roll, and let me see. It's Mother, so she's probably gonna have at least a couple of dice as a.
How about a command roll to try to justify it with military paperwork?
A command roll I can accept. She is going to counter or oppose it with.
I'm pushing that.
I'm also gonna use a command roll of some dice. Mother says a pups can be allowed.
Yes, I could use pups for you.
Sign here, please.
Yes. Can you toss it on my sheet and whatever the command control panel is for it? Because I'm assuming you have to have this.
I think it's just a
PDAT to go with it.
I mean, the easiest thing to do is to just plug the PDAT into the APC and use the screens there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once we take operations, we can let the pups out to map the rest of it out to try to help Bayback figure out what buildings we need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a plan.
Yeah.
They got us pups. I'm never returning this.
Oh, you signed for it.
Oh shoot, that's right.
So you might get your pay docked if the pups don't
Sequence.
come back.
Update.
Mother is expecting those pups to come back. That's not like machine gun ammo.
Yeah. Future 80s is not run on abundance.
No, future 80s is run on a budget.
Sure.
I think we're good then.
And
Sergeant Pike, please assemble your team in the briefing room.
844.
We are on our
Yeah.
final approach to the planet. You may wish to be there for up-to-date information as it comes in.
Everybody's armored up. Everybody's armed. Everybody's got their packs. And I order everyone to file into the briefing room.
Dr. Babak just sits on the back of the APC watching you guys leave. He's like, hey, do I stay with the truck?
We're getting a briefing from Mother.
I should probably be there.
If you want to, you're welcome to.
He trots on up to catch up to you guys. He's very much out of breath already. He might not be
He's
a
gonna go
large
well.
man, but he's clearly not a very in-shape man. As the telemetry comes in from the ship getting closer, it is confirmed that the Corinth colony is gone, nuked right off the planetary surface. Centered on the colony proper, the blast vaporized it and all but destroyed its atmospheric processor. The Oregon testing facility is about 100 kilometers out, and while still within the just inside the radiation zone, it was not close enough to be destroyed. As the testing facility itself comes into view, or more accurate telemetry comes in, there are all sorts of warnings and alarms and lights lighting up on different monitors. And you hear the very, very distinct sound of incoming, 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 incoming. And the Tambatam is struck. The ship itself rattles several times. And then there's like a large thud. And there's really no way to explain it unless you've been in a vehicle that's been struck by another vehicle, if that makes any sense. Just that shudder of how your whole vehicle shifts around you and then you're dragged with it. That's exactly what happens. And then immediately, decompression alarm starts going off, and it's starting to get quiet.
Is it getting quiet because of the depressurization or
Correct.
because people are panicked?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
starting to
great.
get quiet because there's no atmosphere. It's starting to
Oh, that's
dwindle.
That's amazing.
So, let's see. You, blah, 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 blah. Compartmental decompression in an area immediately adjacent to the briefing room. I need a heavy machinery roll.
is our NPC still over there, or is he in here with us?
He's in the briefing room with you.
Okay,
lucky.
that would be Watts running to the door, making sure it's all the way sealed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to seal off your compartment. So I'm going to need a heavy machinery roll, please. And you got a success, so nobody dies. Congratulations. As the atmosphere refills, for lack of a better word, you feel the ship continues to take a few more hits, but nothing as severe as that one. Excuse me. The alarms eventually dwindle, and not from the lack of air. The ship moves, you can assume it moves into a higher or different orbit. And Mother basically says, I'm going to paraphrase here. Mother basically says that the ship cannot remain in geosynchronous orbit now. Otherwise, it could very well be shot down. Surface scans show massive celestial cannons to be too close to Oregon to risk bombarding them from orbit. Oregon itself could easily be taken out. Your entire mission profile is being adjusted even now. You hear at one point Mother give instructions into the hangar bay for Eckhart to effectively unpack the dropship and unpack the 577 so that the dropship can be restowed.
Are we gonna get hot dropped in there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me review these notes a slight bit here. Mother suggests that since your main objective is to download the computer core, it may make more sense to deactivate the automated cannons from the said computer. Since you're going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
But otherwise, without those cannons being resolved, the Tambatam cannot send down a dropship.
Well, does Tampitan have orbital drop pods?
As it turns out, dead drop re-entry insertion vehicles, DDR E3s, are on hand.
Cool.
So Mother and this is a series of conversations or updates or what have you, but basically
how accurate are these pods?
Mm,
Like, how bad is the scatter going to be for the team?
let me see.
Probably terrible.
Assuming normal conditions, a few hundred meters at best, or at most. Under combat situations, it's arguable that it could be as much as up to a kilometer from one person to the next. Or more.
Okay.
But you'll have shortwave. Mother also points out that you'll have shortwave radios or whatever the hell it is that you guys have for your comm systems.
Yeah.
Intra-team radios so you can coordinate and get everybody relinked up. Mother has determined that dropship insertion is far too risky. You will then be ordered into individual DDR E3 dead drop reentry insertion vehicles. This includes Babak, who is looking a little nervous about basically being shot out the side of a ship and, Starship Troopersing his way down to the planet. They didn't show that in the movie, by the way.
At least he has body armor.
He does have body armor. They didn't show that in the movie, but in the book, they are literally shot out of a cannon into the planet's atmosphere to land on the ground. They were also given power armor, too.
Yeah.
To include...
All right.
It was basically miniature space marines. That's what they were.
Oh, goodness.
I am going to make a request.
Yeah.
That... Because if these cannons are supposed to be firing at orbital threats, then they presumably also try to act as a point defense. And try to shoot down anything that's coming down in the area. So I will make a request that Mother fires like a salvo of railgun shots or something to try to draw targeting solutions from the cannons right before our pods are fired to give objects for them to try to fire at.
Oh, is your intent to have the celestial gun shooting at the railgun projectiles or shooting at the Tambatam?
At the railgun projectiles. So we'd be far enough away that we wouldn't be able to do any precision targeting, so we won't be able to hit the guns. But having them enter the envelope of AAA, they should still try to track and fire on the railgun shells, even if they're not going to hit the facility itself.
I wonder.
I am assuming drop pods have some form of anti-air defensiveness, even if it's simple like shave pops or anything.
Speed is your defense.
I feel like it's a metal coffin with a parachute.
It's a metal coffin with some rudimentary maneuverability.
Oh yeah, I would definitely have Warren preps Winston prep some anti-nausea meds for everyone on the team.
that's fair.
Are these like Helldiver hell pods or like?
I don't know what that looks like, but probably.
Basically, yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, I have you do a last minute request for anti-nausea medication because it's better than trashing the systems on the way down.
The
railgun slugs are the cheapest ammunition that's on any of the outboard weapons on the ship.
I think Mother comes back with something, and it sounds something like this. Railgun rounds may be moving too fast, However, we can probably shoot off some sort of. If I lived in the space 80s future of this show, I could give you a better answer. But Mother says something like, we can find something to shoot that moves a little bit slower that might get their attention. You know, something to the equivalent of like chaff or something.
Yeah, I mean, if there's if
Something
we
to get their
if-
attention to lock them up.
yeah, I mean, whatever munitions Mother decides it's willing to fire to try to eat shells for us, I'm happy with.
Yeah. You, as you're brought into the hangar bay for prep, you have the dead drop pods. You are also being each drop pod is fitted or equipped with an M73 PX parafoil. So basically, you're going to ride the drop pod down inside it. At some point, you're going to eject from the drop pod, and then you'll have the parafoil to land on the surface of the planet. Even Eckhart is kind of sitting off to the side like, wow, yeah, no, that's a shitty way, but at least you'll see it coming, I suppose.
I just am like, and you want us to take civilian with us?
It's pretty much automated. Eckhart says that, Eckhart's like, the drop pods are pretty much automated. Once they leave the ship, they're automated.
I look at
I mean, Pike looks over
Winston and
he's
asks,
just like,
going, would it be better for us to knock the civilian out so he doesn't interfere with the automated systems?
Well,
Because I feel like he might panic if he doesn't
Well,
pass out.
he's gonna need to. If he's not awake to use his parafoil, there's no telling where the fuck he'll land.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. This
it'll
will be my
It'll be fine. What are you worried
Yeah,
about?
Pike is like, this is my 19th drop in these. This is my 19th combat drop in these. It'll be fine.
Additionally,
it's like a Wednesday.
It's just intimidating. You'll get over it once you do it 3 or 4.
a low-level peon soldier type comes out rolling a cart, and on that cart are 8 additional RMAT 4 breaching charges. And he says, Mother has recommended that you take these to blow up those railguns down there. Listen, I know Mother's a computer, but I swear to God I heard a little bit of desperation in her voice, almost as if to say, please kill those fucking railguns. I don't know. It's your show, Sergeant.
I'm going to leave the RPG behind, because it feels like that'd be difficult to fit in the tube with me.
Probably. Things might start getting a little bit close. I mean, you're a big guy, too.
Yeah, I'm already kind of squeezed in there. Let's see how many of these breaching charges I can fit on my person. You said there was 8 of them in the cart?
Yeah, it's 2 per I'm sorry, actually technically it would be 10 because it's supposed to be 2 per character. But I will let you go as low as 6 because it does say 2 per player. And there's 3 players and 5 characters, so plus you've got the extras from last time too that Mother may or may not know about. There's a camera watching you with a slow, steady, blinking red light.
I can take 2 more.
How much do they weigh each?
They weigh a kilogram each.
Yeah, they're a little hefty.
Watts can take 5, and then he'll be just under max encumbrance.
Watts is already encumbered. Oh, max encumbrance?
Everybody's encumbered.
Yeah.
I'm talking max encumbrance.
I need to...
Warren will take one.
Alright, hold on. What? This is the RMAT. Alright. Watts is taking how many?
5.
5, so that's 1.
I'll update it once you toss it on there.
4, 5. Who else is taking 1?
Warren will take 1.
I'm taking 4.
I don't need to give you any though, do I? You already have some on your sheet, right?
Yeah, I just adjusted my count. I'm taking 4 off the cart. The ones that I had left over are staying in my locker.
Okay. And then I'm giving Warren 1. Is that correct?
And that will be all 10 from the cart.
Warren has 1, and Warren is now over his halfway point of encumbrance. Alright, you guys are loaded to the fucking gills. Hopefully I managed to give you guys all your Seaburn kits.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do
Babak,
this.
Babak is standing there wearing his Seaburn kit, minus the mask and helmet. And he's looking at you guys, and he's looking at this parafoil and this drop pod, and he's just like, I will not lie to you, I'm scared shitless, but let's do this. Are we ready?
I make sure everybody
now
gets
or
fed
never.
their anti. I make sure everybody gets fed their anti-nausea meds. I just look at Pike.
Fucking Babak grabs a
Pike.
bottle of water and he's like slugging it down. I'm like, I really hope I don't have to piss before we hit the ground.
Hey, if you work up a sweat, hoofing it around the terrain, then if you piss yourself, nobody will know. Pro tip. And he just walks away from him after saying that.
What an ominous thing to say. All right, so there's a couple of techs on the deck with you guys, helping you get situated into your parafoil rigs and then into your drop pods. You are all buckled in, and then the drop pods are all fired at the planet's surface. The Tambatam pops off with a series of random shots of, I want to say macro battery cannons because it sounds hilarious, but whatever the Tambatam version of a macro battery cannon is, it's not like a mass driver or railgun. As you plummet through the atmosphere, I imagine these drop pads have some sort of like, hey, here's what's going on outside around you. The temperature is now 9 million degrees as the ablative cocoon burns off in the upper atmosphere. But you do get some sort of indicator that the celestial railgun systems are indeed engaging the decoys and whatnot. I do need to roll attacks against you because unfortunately, Mother did not properly prepare the counter anti-air fire, so you guys are going to get shot at.
I'm just hoping that the additional targets will give us some sort of benefit for this.
I will do this so I'm supposed to use 6 dice. I'm going to use 4. I think that is a fair trade-off. 46. All right, this first roll is, let me pull up pull up people's names. All right, Wescott, I'm rolling you first.
Unlucky am I?
Oh, you're fine. You get a couple of close shaves, but you're good. Winston, your cocoon is rocked. We'll talk about what happens in a minute.
Yeah.
Watts. Oof. Now, I'm not going to be an asshole and be like, well, it was 2 6s, so that means his pod is destroyed, because that would just be rude. Watts is also rocked. Warren is fine. Pike gets hit. And lastly, Dr. Babak also gets hit. Son of a bitch. Okay. I hope everybody remembers who all that was, because I already forgot, other than Pike and Babak. So it was Watts, Winston, and Pike.
I think
the only people who are safe.
Warren and Wescott.
Warren and Wescott, yeah.
Okay. What were you saying, Kane?
I'll say it's a better question is who did not get hit.
Yeah.
So everybody except Warren and Wescott are suffering the effects of this.
Okay. So any successful hit is a glancing blow, shredding a large section of the pod open. The wrecked pod starts to somersault end over end. G-forces will slam the occupant back in their seat. They automatically gain 1 stress. So Winston, Watts, and Pike gain stress. If I did that right.
I just added Winston stress.
Yep. And then with a stamina roll, you can get your dude out of their seat and parafoil away before the wrecked pod smashes into the ground. So I need a stamina roll from Winston, Watts, Pike, and Babak. Let me get Babak up here. Okay, who's this first? Watts is not able to get out of his seat in time. We'll deal with that in a moment. So Watts failed to stam. All right,
debating on if I would have him roll again.
Yeah, you can definitely Pike does not make it.
Pike is pushing.
Pike is pushing and does make it. Pike
Watts is pushing too.
Watts is pushing. Watts makes it. All right.
And has a stress roll.
Ooh, go ahead and roll that stress. You're fine. All right,
Okay, and I guess Winston has to push it.
Did Winston roll stamina? I didn't see it if he did.
Yeah, all the way at the top, 39 seconds ago. No.
All right,
Oh,
Winston.
boy.
All right, so Winston didn't get it. I gotta roll stamina for what's his face here. That's not good. He will push it. And he got it. All right. So, Watts and Winston. Am I right?
Watts succeeded his push.
Yeah, I think I'm the
that's
only one
right.
who failed it.
It's just Winston who's looking at screaming into the ground at orbital speed.
Yeah. All right. Failure on this roll means that the pilot is trapped in the pod as it falls apart in the sky. You gain another point of stress. But as you think, right? So you're just like literally tumbling over end, spinning out of control. This thing is just literally pieces are flying off every few seconds. You get like even more worked up about like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And then at like you can see the ground coming up. Like you see nothing but ground, nothing but sky, nothing but ground, nothing but sky, nothing but ground. Oh my god, that's a lot of ground. And then
that's a lot of sky.
And then the seat falls away and tumbles out, and you manage to clear what's left of your drop pod as it slams unceremoniously like a lawn dart at high velocity into the ground. Ooh. Now I need everybody to make a piloting roll.
Piloting roll.
Yep. I'll do the box after y'all. So we got Pike failing.
Watts fails.
With a panic roll. Love you too, bud. Alright. Winston needs to make a panic roll. Winston is fine, I think. No, never mind. That was... Ooh, Winston. Winston is got the twitches. Winston's going to need a shot when he gets to the ground. Wescott rolling 3 dice and missing. You keep it together so you can I believe you can reroll it, or was that your reroll?
No. If you roll a face
I roll
hugger,
1, I can't reroll.
Okay. Alright, so who failed? Ultimately, who failed that one?
Both of my people failed.
So Wescott and Watts?
Mm-hmm.
And Winston, yeah.
Winston failed?
You succeeded.
Winston had 1 success.
Okay. And Warren?
Warren, give me 1 second.
I think
was so
Pike is
concerned
good to
that,
go overall?
Yeah, Pike's fine.
Right,
Warren's good. Just does the thing.
All right, and then I need Babak to make a piloting roll as well. He does not make it. I'm going to push. Oh, he's fine. Babak slams into the ground. You hear, I think this is what happens too. All you hear is Babak saying, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then he switches to whatever his native language would be. And you hear him say it all over again. And he's like, oh shit, slam. Ow!
God.
Okay.
I mean, Wescott and Watts probably get introduced to some trees as well.
Oh, yeah, probably. So, the individuals that failed the piloting roll, the foil does slow you down. You do hit the ground, however, as the parafoil ends up folding upwards and kind of spiraling a little bit. You will take 3 points of damage, but your armor is allowed to mitigate. So those taking damage, please make your armor rolls now.
Failed the piloting?
Correct. For the ones that failed the piloting.
Yeah.
All right, so you take 2 damage.
It does mean Bayback can roll armor.
It does. I'll do Babak's in a moment. So that was Watts taking 2 damage. That was
Ow!
Wescott taking all 3. Did Wescott just become broken?
She has 1 hit point left.
Okay.
That tough feat, man. Tough talent, saving me repeatedly.
All right. Was there anybody else that failed the piloting roll, or was that it? That was it, right? Okay. So now Babak needs to roll armor. This is. Oh, do I have to go into inventory for it? Oh, it's right there. Oh, but I do have to actually equip his armor.
Yeah. You got to put it in the active side.
I'm glad I made sure he's wearing armor.
Yeah, it's
Am I
a,
doing
you'd be
this
rolling
wrong?
his riot vest, so that would need to be bumped up to active. Just
Yeah.
left click on the click on the picture
On
of
the
the vest.
icon, yeah, got it. I'll put that on there. Yeah. Armor.
And then if you go back to general, it should be there.
Ugh. Oh shit.
Did he die, hit the ground?
His shoulder is fucked up.
I mean, we could roll critical.
I just
to
rolled a
see what
critical.
happened to him.
Oh,
I see. Okay.
yeah, injury number 26, slashed shoulder. Somewhere along the way, maybe it's a piece of the parafoil line that gets wrapped in there. Maybe collapses on a tree, but his left arm is fucked. And he is screaming profusely. And he is not happy right now.
I guess Winston is gonna try to run over since I somehow survived this mess.
Yeah, everybody survived. That was a plus.
I mean, I would be jogging towards the screaming person too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
after I, picked myself up out of whatever tree bush situation I ended up in.
Yeah. When you get to him, Winston, it doesn't look like his suit has been compromised, but he is profusely complaining about his busted up ass shoulder.
All right. Is there anything I can do through the suit without compromising his integrity?
Put his arm in a sling and try to demobilize, or is that the right word? Demobilize his shoulder, stabilize his shoulder.
I guess a medical aid roll.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything about his current situation, but yeah, if he takes a hit again, it's just another automatic critical hit. That is a panic roll.
I mean, rolling medical aid on somebody who's broken will heal them hit points.
So
you can heal him 2 hit points, so he's not broken anymore.
You are trembling.
It's a good thing.
It doesn't stop his success.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But okay, let's see.
He gets 2 health back.
All skill rolls involving agility suffers a -2 modification until panic stops. And right now, you are on the ground in the open. You have landed in a fairly open area. Let me see if I can paint this picture for you. Imagine landing or being in an area where, like in the woods, it gets a little misty, foggy, but there's enough of a breeze that it's constantly kind of slowly swaying back and forth, maybe, or coming and going. It is doing all of that. Unfortunately, this fog isn't fog. It's radioactive smoggy shit.
Hmm.
And I'll just give that information to you for free. Because this place has been bombed. You're inside
That's
barely
right.
inside the blast range of the
Watts. Do the
thing,
seaburn
yeah.
detection thing.
I mean, we don't need that. Pike orders everyone to go prone and make a circle around Bayback.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Bayback, let me give him his 2 points back. So he's at least fairly. He's still gonna be slinged up, and his left arm is still completely out of use. But he's just not crying as much right now.
I mean, after Pike looks over his shoulder to see if he can see anybody standing, once everybody's down, he'll call for everyone to sound off, make sure everybody's still up and alive.
Yeah, that's on Pike or on y'all to respond. Babak
Yeah.
is like,
Sound off.
Babak is like, God, this fucking hurts.
I forgot what my call signs were even.
Yeah.
Reaper.
UFC Matthew Warren.
Something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reaper.
I think Watts would just go, Watts. here, present, accounted for. Wescott B. Wescott, present, took a chunk of debris on the way down. She is very unhappy right now.
PFC Matthew Warren, doing pretty good. Lieutenant Corporal.
I want to know why nobody's like, that was a fucking fun ride. Let's do it again.
Well,
I mean,
Matthew
Watts
was a little
would,
bit-
except for the fact that it snagged him in the face and he wasn't such a fan.
Go ahead.
Oh, is it Lieutenant or Lance Corporal?
For Winston? Lance Corporal.
Yeah, Lance Corporal Winston. It's pretty fucked up.
What's fucked up?
Did we mess up our landing, or are we in target?
Right now, as far as you could tell, you are in some big open, dusty, misty, foggy bullshit. Broken terrain. There are no
Okay, we're not that
real,
far.
currently easily discernible terrain features to figure out exactly where you are.
Oh yeah, I start pulling up my PDAT, checking to see where we are GPS wise. How off target are we?
You are currently. Let me check my notes.
We have to be somewhat off target because NPC boy over there
All right,
fell
so
off target and injured.
Not necessarily.
you guys are. Let me see.
I mean, given the way we did our insertions and whatnot, I feel like we're not going to get market garden here, but
No, but it should be fine.
Okay, so the two things that should be noticeable immediately upon taking a quick moment, a survey of the situation. One, your radio comms are static as fuck. Clear, but there's a lot of background static just lingering. It doesn't necessarily. I don't know how to you just hear the static. It's like constant.
It's
as
like
opposed to-
it's the equivalent of like television static for when you don't have signal, except it's the audio equivalent of that. It's the white noise static.
Yeah, but
It's the
in
background
normal,
radiation interfering with radio waves.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The background radiation is interfering, and so you're getting the static underlayer in your radio chatter. Otherwise, the message is clear. Now, if somebody speaks too quietly, you're not going to be able to hear them over the static. The other thing you're going to notice as you're trying to assess your situation and figure out where exactly you are probably a couple kilometers away. So, 15, 20, 30-minute walk, depending on how fast you want to move. You are very literally in what otherwise would have been a hot, dusty savanna area. There's some scattered trees, but of course a lot of them are mostly just tree stumps and not much actually there. A few twisted Jesus Christ. A few twisted trees. There is a small river flowing westwards. And from your map recon that it flows into a lake from 150 odd kilometers away. There is plenty of litter, debris, chunks of just stuff all over the place. Visibility is limited to probably a few, maybe like 30, 40 meters. And that's questionable at times because it varies. Again, the blowing fog, smoke, dust. There is a steady wind. And give me an observation roll to see if you can figure out anything else. Whoever wants to make one.
I think I'll make one because I think I'm the person who's popped up about it. I mean, I succeeded once.
Okay. Anybody else making an observation roll? Once.
I mean, I'm passing around with my rifle scope looking for things moving, but I'm not really paying attention to too much on the environmental.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Winston got 3 successes. So I'm gonna give you some base information, and you can figure out what else you want to talk about. Pike, as you do your 360 through your scope, it's it's easily discernible that getting any sort of long range vision is, it's not even sketchy at best. It's basically not going to happen. You do notice a couple of times that in the periphery of your sight, as you move from one sector to the next, as you go from, say, here to here, it looks like there was something there for a second, right as you started to move away. But when you bounce back to it, it's gone. Winston, as you are attempting to get the lay of the land, you get the impression that this fog is casting shadows, kind of like you would expect with fog and various background lights and whatnot. But you also feel like there's more shadows than you're expecting. And sometimes they move a little bit. Or maybe your eyes are just playing tricks with you.
Hmm.
And then all of you, every now and again, can hear what sounds like a hooting owl.
Warren,
I cannot mimic the sound of, so otherwise I'm not going to play the sound.
Warren, pull your motion detector up, please.
Ooh. A good one.
It's like, because I think we all collectively just saw the fact that the shadows are moving when they not shouldn't really be.
It's a weird, almost like a very slow motion, smoothly transitioning kaleidoscope of shadow and fog. Not to be confused with a Balrog, just for clarity's sake. Sorry. Somebody making a roll here?
I don't know what the motion detector does, frankly. I just know he has
I
one.
mean, he just knows where everything is around him.
Okay.
Because if our eyes are playing tricks on us, I want to know if it's playing tricks on the computer too.
Here's what I will do. If Warren or whoever is going to use the motion detector,
He does have to make a power roll. That's the roll he has to make. But otherwise, he just gets all the information for free.
Okay. All right, that works. Give me that power roll for that, what you call it, the motion detector. I don't need to show that on screen. Warren? Power roll.
Warren? No, it's Watts.
Who has the... Was it Warren? Oh, never mind. Watts.
Warren, the rifleman.
Warren has
it. Warren has it.
Warren doesn't have it.
It's part of the standard rifleman kit.
You know what? He may have dropped it. He would have been
replenished.
No, I do have it. I do have it.
Okay.
Well, we went through and requisitioned everything that we had dropped.
Well,
so
yeah, well, what I was going to say is it may have been one of those things that got dropped and I forgot that it was dropped and forgot to get it back to him.
Yeah.
This was a power roll, right?
Yeah, just a power roll for the motion detector.
I don't have the replenishment for it, but give me 1 second.
Who's it? This is Watts, right?
Warren,
sorry. I have power 6 on here for you. Should be good.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I can click it here.
Yeah, and then you should be able to just click, if you just click the power button there. The power
if
button.
if I die, I'm coming back as Walters.
Fuck you, Gabe. You son of a bitch.
No, I think we ran into this problem last time where the motion tracker didn't like do the thing that we were supposed to do.
Let me pull up your character sheet.
Yeah.
Oh. What is it? All right. Yeah, you had to roll a flat 66. And then on a success, it does or does not drain power.
Every one he rolls reduces power.
Okay. Yeah, so just roll /roll 66. There is 1 in there, so I'm gonna change your character sheet to change that to a... Why can't I change his... Okay. Adjust your power to 5 if you would, please.
I also can't change my power.
Okay. Well,
we'll just remember it's at 5.
Yeah, I don't have.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, that's the only other option I have.
Power is at...
Unless tech support wants to get on and try to figure it out, but it takes Kane's attention away. So what you get on the motion detector as you do its little sweepy bit around you At a distance of anywhere from 40 to 60 meters from you are you are picking up 6 intermittent signals that cannot stay either still or a solid lock. The signal information is unreliable. The 6 individual sensor returns, they jump around. So either the thing that it's picking up is literally jumping around. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, so you just click on the number next to it. I'll edit that back up.
Okay.
So you just in the next time you do the power roll, just click on the 5 and it'll do the roll for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, tech support. You're awesome. Either the thing that it's picking up is literally bouncing around, but the distance it's bouncing is like 5 and 10 meters in any one random direction, and then to another spot 5 or 10 meters, and then it resolves back to its original location, and then bounces again. And it's 6 of them doing all this. So either these 6 things are literally doing that, or you're having some very unreliable readings.
So we may have up to 6 targets, from what I can tell.
And the hooting
They're either
continues.
fast or the hooting.
Yes.
Does everyone hear that?
It sounds kind of like an owl. And it's
Yeah,
really hard to pinpoint a specific direction for it.
yeah, I hear something, and nothing ought to be alive here.
Kit.
I mean, there's obviously still going to be stuff alive on the planet since they didn't glass the entire planet.
This is such
Yeah,
a rough
but
turn.
yeah, but we're standing in a cloud of death, so
Something shouldn't be living in this.
yeah. Let's move. Is everybody ambulatory?
I can move. If somebody can help me up, that'd be really cool. I didn't realize how much this shit weighs. I don't know how you guys do this.
Winston will help him up.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, man. Now if I could just stay upright, that'd be great. Because if I go down again, I don't know if I'm going to get up. What is that sound? It's so annoying.
Just to make sure that he didn't puncture anything, but he didn't puncture anything, I am assuming.
No, you see some blood kind of seeping through his suit a little bit, but there's no obvious holes.
That sounds like a bad sign.
Well,
Wescott, Watts, I want you two to take point. I want to make an approach from the southwest
all right, so I'm
on
putting
the Regan facility.
Yes, that's bringing us in on the barracks and the operations side. And I don't even have to look at the map to remember that one.
Yeah.
For clarity,
Winston,
you guys want to come in from.
We want to come in from over here.
Yeah, the corner where it says player map.
Okay, got it. I will. Oops. Scoot you guys over that way.
Scoot.
Winston,
So where-
Warren, I want you two to stick with Bay back in the middle. I'm going to take up the rear.
Let me.
Yep.
Once I get you guys situated, you can readjust your order of march here.
So
Yeah,
where
yeah.
are the anti-aircraft, anti-spaceship weapons that we're here to come get? Because they're obviously not marked on the map as
They
that.
are not marked on the map. They are listed as. Let me verify this with my information here.
If we take ops, we can turn off the guns.
True.
Okay. You can't see them. Out of character, you will. Well, you probably would have noticed something with the overhead imagery. Some of the imagery that you saw indicated that kind of shaped in a hexagon were 6 points that were undefined around the perimeter of the facility, a couple hundred meters away from the facility proper.
But in a spoke around it, or like in a circle around it?
Yeah. There were 6 points that you could see them, but they weren't clearly defined at the time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's our marching order. I'll move myself to the back of the stack. Here,
Yeah, you guys go ahead
and
and put yourselves wherever you're going to be on that, so I have an idea. And you're roughly heading basically north to like here, or are you going up to the wall to go over the wall?
I mean, we're headed northeast to approach the southwest corner.
Okay, so you want to come in about there, right? Where I just pinged it.
Yeah, that's where I want to come in, but that's not where we're going to go over the wall.
Okay, all right. But once you guys get situated there, I will reveal the next part.
I think we would we know roughly where the section of the facility is. We know we want to be up at this corner before we pop up so we can use the operations building as cover.
Yeah. You got dead space back, or effectively dead space back there that you can sneak through.
Yeah, so that's what we're heading towards.
I wanna hop over the wall here so
Okay.
that the security bunker can't get line of sight on us.
Okay, stand by
Okay.
on that. Stand by on that. As you're approaching the facility, you've marched probably for like solid 30 minutes. Are we attempting to approach stealthily, or are we going to let the fog be our cover? And not necessarily moving fast, but moving upright, I guess, for lack of a better way to explain it.
So
With stealth.
I wanna move us up to here. We're gonna make a quiet effort to get to here.
Okay.
And then Watts and I are going to proceed on our own to go over the wall to take operations.
Okay.
As a stealthy entrance.
Before you're probably about 200 or so meters from the wall. You kind of get, depending if the wind blows a certain way, maybe the sun pops out a little bit, but you've got a general idea. You're about 200 meters from the wall. But what you see most importantly in front of you is one of these celestial defense artillery guns. And I don't have a good way to explain it. But basically, picture some sort of anti-aircraft gun pointing upwards. At the base of it is a bunker. Presumably, that's where like the computers and other electronics and stuff like that are. The surface access.
Mhm.
But in front of that is an active automated sentry gun. And as soon as you come into sight, it so I imagine you guys at this point are still all together.
I see that. I immediately grab NPC dude and we hit the dirt.
Epic NPC man.
I love
I am
that
never
show.
gonna. Okay, say
Wescott
his
and
name
Watts are at
one
the
more
front.
time.
Babak.
Babak.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So Watts and I are in front, so you guys are riding herd on him. That's right. So I won't have to do that. So, I think Watts and I will see that and go down. Like it'll be calm up, everybody down, and then we hit dirt.
Okay.
We find our nearest gully or small shallow spot to hug and then crawl into.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody's response to having that shot at their face.
Give me just 1 second here. I don't want to have any spoilers, so let's just grab one of these guys. So I'm gonna put him. Well, we'll go with here for simplicity's sake. We'll grab that. Okay, so we've got who is this? Let me zoom in a bit here. We have Watts and we have Wescott and we have this sentry gun. Anybody else getting into this initial contact for the moment?
I suppose we should be right behind him.
I mean, I'm in the stack, so.
Okay. I'm using this ghost dude, as indicator for the sentry turret. This is, now to be clear, this is the sentry gun at the base of the gun shooting into space. I'm only going to put Watts and Watts? Yeah, Watts and Wescott into the combat scenario at the moment. If others join, I'll figure it out. For the initial bursting. Go ahead. I think you're getting ready.
Can I use watchful for anything like this, or no?
Refresh my memory what watchful does. I don't recall specifically off the top of my head right now.
It's a bonus to notice danger.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a +2 modification to an observation roll.
Okay, yeah. You can if you want to just like kind of like cover the immediate perimeter of your guys' area to make sure you're not getting ambushed by something else at the same time. That would be the that would be the normal thing that would happen in an ambush. In lieu
Okay.
of any better instructions, you pull local security until instructed otherwise. Yeah, there's
I
nothing.
feel like it should have been more dice than that.
I feel like it
All
should
right,
be too, because
whatever.
it should be observation.
You
You have to edit it, don't you?
No, you right click on the word observation to add a modifier.
Yeah,
Oh shit. Base modifier 2.
correct.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing you can hear is this gun shooting off like 6 to 9 round bursts every half second or so. I'm going to begin combat, and it looks like my turret is shooting first. So I'm going to roll. Before I do that, let me switch this over so people can see the combat.
Can I use fast reflexes for getting into combat as Warren?
Give me 1 second. Watts is at the front, so Watts is the first one being shot. He is taking 4 base damage. So go ahead and roll armor. The gun is not using armor-piercing rounds. Only because I made that call arbitrary. So Watts is taking 4 damage. Make an armor roll, please. What the fuck was that? You good, dude?
Armor roll.
Okay.
You got that
Watts,
armor
right?
roll coming in?
Yeah, sorry. Somebody had pinged me something. What do you want me to roll?
Armor
Watts
for
has taken
Watts.
4 points of damage and needs to roll armor.
Joy.
Yes.
But it is not armor piercing, so you get full armor.
It's a good thing.
He takes 3 points of damage.
He and Wescott are both down to 1 hit point.
Okay. It is Wescott's turn. You clearly can see the turret at the base of the larger anti-orbital turret because of the muzzle flash and whatnot.
Okay, actually open up the right sheet. Those don't work on that type of gun. I'm just going to shoot it.
Okay.
And this is going to be my first roll with my new weapon focused impulse rifle.
Let's do it. That is 3 successes. How would you like to use those 2 additional successes?
Isn't it just like one of the obvious ones, just damage and more damage?
Yes. So you have your base damage, which off the top of my head, I don't remember what the M41A does. But you can add
in the roll. It's base of 2.
Oh yeah,
It's 2.
it is. So yeah, that would be is it 4 damage or 5?
6. 2, 2, 2 for each shot, right?
No, it's
Or
2
is it
plus
2,
the
1,
number of
1?
successes.
So 4.
So it's a sentry turret.
Yes.
One of your options is to push it back or knock it down. So you could knock the turret over so it can't point at us and fire anymore. Sort of flip the turtle on its back.
That is an option.
Oh.
I will before you answer that question though. Let me paint you the picture. This thing blasts out several bursts, tagging the ever-loving shit out of Watts, who drops from the kinetic force of it. Wescott pops up like somewhat to a knee, pops off a number of rounds, and you could tell from the impact of these rounds that each individual round is basically... hold on. The 41A1 is armor piercing by default. Am I right?
It is.
Yeah, you could tell that each, let's say you shoot 4 or 5 rounds, each individual round is like crumpling whatever it is that's holding up the gun. It's very obvious that this one burst might be more than enough to take it out.
I mean,
To completely make it unserviceable. Let me put it that way.
Real. Okay. I mean, I'd either blow it. I would either try to nuke it or try to knock it over. And by default, I'd go with knock it over because knocking over means it's not shooting at me or my
Okay.
friends.
So
So
you wanna make it
yeah,
go prone?
I drop 1 point in knocking it over, and then I get 1 extra point of damage. So it takes 3 damage, and then it gets knocked over.
All right. You eviscerate this thing. You could see almost fist-size holes in some of the structural components of it as it falls over into the dirt. And once it falls over into the dirt, it just simply absolutely ceases to fire, and you could see some of the wiring starting to smolder.
I would like to make an observation roll
Sure.
as the rear guy to see if whatever's been following us is gonna try to take advantage of our predicament
Ooh.
or not.
Good call. Go ahead and make that observation roll. I'm going to resist that one with something else. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. But go ahead and roll your stress first. All right, you're good. Let's see. What would be a good counter to that? You had 1 success.
No, I mean, we've
Mobility.
I mean, observation is if it's actively stealthing, then it's a mobility roll.
That's okay. Actually, no. I rolled a survival roll that may or not have been the right number of dice, but I'll take this individual success I did get. The things that you believe are following you are not visible at the moment,
Right,
or
I mean,
otherwise
can I-
detectable. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The combat encounter has ended because you have destroyed this gun, and before you is the burning hulk of said gun, as well as this much larger gun pointed generally upwards. You are roughly 200 meters from what is indicated on the map, as far as your player tokens and whatnot. Watts
Alright.
needs to take a point of stress, if I'm not mistaken, because he did get injured. Somebody check that fact on me. I am okay with
Yeah.
that if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah. Winston, please check on Watts.
Yes.
Make sure that suit is intact, please.
Should I do another medic blade, or does it really not matter because he's not at 0?
You can't heal him until he hits 0.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But doesn't mean
I'll
I
give
still
him the
don't have
once
to go
over.
over there and check his suit.
Yeah, you can still
Yeah.
do the I'm the medic looking this guy over and throwing, narratively we could put band-aids on him.
Is he stressed?
He did pick up 1 point of stress, but I don't know.
He's up to 3 stress.
3 stress also, eh?
Mhm.
We can't even take medication with our hazmat suits on, so that's gonna have to skip for now. All right, cool.
In the background, once again, a single solitary owl hoot can be heard by everybody.
Who was that?
Being hunted by something or someone.
So you have, as I said, you have a busted up sentry gun and a celestial railgun with a service access in front of you. What would you like to do? Or you could just continue 200-ish meters further north to get to the wall.
Do you want me to? I look at a Pike. Do you want us to be to and Watts to try to disable this one before we move on?
You've got 5 minutes to find a good place to put a demo on remote.
I wave Watts over. What would his skill roll be for finding the best place to destroy this?
A heavy machinery roll is what is needed to determine the best place to put an RMAP. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. 9 dice for real?
He's good at it.
4 strength, 4 heavy machinery, and a piece of equipment.
And the stress.
And the stress.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, you've got 3 extra successes in there, but the one was necessary to succeed. He finds
Act
the
quietly.
best spot. Go ahead.
I act quickly.
Uh-huh.
And I show off.
Okay, I will take the act quickly and act quietly. I will counter the show off with Or would you like to save this for the next railgun that you have to destroy so that you don't have to make
Can I
that
just
roll?
say that? Fine. Quickly, quietly, and I don't have to repeat the same challenge because now I know the best spot to put this dang thing.
There you go. Okay. Now you have to find the other 6, or excuse me, the other 5. And you can have retrieval whenever you want.
All right, we need to get up to that wall.
The Bach is just in the background going, wow, that was some amazing shooting, and that fucking owl sound. What the shit?
Yeah. Best case scenario, we don't find out. So let's get to the wall.
Doop.
Ashen makes a somewhat relevant point that
Doop.
you have
I mean,
a
we're
sentry
cautiously
gun with
moving, but
ammo
I'm
that also
assuming
goes
this
boom.
is.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm assuming about here is where you wanted us to stop there. Is where Watts is now. I think that's where you wanted us to go and
I
pop
believe
over.
that's up to, ultimately
Yeah,
that's up to
we're-
Pike. but-
Because anything
So-
farther forward would put us in line of sight.
All right. So the regular the rest of you are going to be here.
Okay.
Watts and I are going to move up to go over the wall there.
Okay.
That way, you guys at least have your back to a wall for the hooting sounds.
The hooting sounds.
And the two of us are going to do some danger moose.
Do you want me to pop the pup over to look real quick?
No. You don't. That's not a stealthy one, so it's going to be real obvious.
Okay,
Okay.
so we've got Pike and who is that? Watts?
Watts.
Up at the top there. So everybody can see this already, but the walls of the testing facility stand at ground level. Well, you're not actually up over the wall, so I'll save that part. Back up a little bit. Well, I didn't have any notes for the wall itself, so fuck it.
And we are going to be stealthing.
Yeah, so go
So-
ahead and give me that stealth roll now, if you
Okay.
would, please. 1 second. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and give me that stealth roll. Oh my god. Roll that panic dice. Good. Alright, so that's 3 successes for Pike. Let's see what Watts has got.
Well, it's a group roll because we're a group.
That makes sense. Okay, no, you're good. You're able to slip up to, and I believe you wanted to go over the wall?
Yeah, I got the rope with the grapples so we can stealthily go over the wall
You can
and drop
Batman and Robin from the 60s over the wall. It.
Yeah.
I'm totally picturing that.
Go
ahead.
And once we land on the ground and we pull the rope down with us.
Uh-huh.
I look at Watts and I tap the suppressor on my rifle.
Uh-huh.
And I hand gesture that I'm taking point because I have the suppressor. Watch the sides and rear. Try not to fire.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of description here. So obviously you've got the map here, but the walls of the testing facility are all at ground level. The buildings are sunken into the ground, and as such, each door has 6 steps going down to its entrance. The site itself is about 100 meters across, surrounded by a 4-meter wall made out of reinforced concrete. Let's see.
4 meter
There are-
tall or 4 meter wide?
Tall, 4 meters tall.
Okay. I was having a moment in my head.
And you are going into operations. So let me see what my notes say for operations. Give me 1 second.
Yep, as we sneak our way into operations.
Okay. You're going into the building?
Yeah, I need to.
Let's see. Give me 1 second. Actually, 2 seconds because my son needs something.
I think Watts just stealthily pulls out his cutting torch.
Okay. You.
I'm a burn a fool.
And it counts, it doubles as a melee weapon, and it pops through doors.
Yeah, it didn't work so well last time we tried that though.
He just shrugs.
So when you. Okay. So when you go into the operations, the first thing you notice is that this is an open office area with separate desks, or what presumably are for different departments. There are two like management offices or quarters towards the rear of the main floor, but they are vacant. And then you also notice these guys. Let me see if I can find them. Put this over here. Oh, there it is. And this will be at close range.
Do we need to roll stealthy checks real quick?
No, you see
I
them.
mean, we
And
already
they see
killed
you.
the stealth.
They
They
see
see
you.
they see me, even though I'm stealthing this hard.
It's a small, like you're in an office and they're on passive, so
I mean, I'm scanning with the rifle, so
are you? But you,
as I
let me
pie
clarify.
in,
You are inside the main office building here, or main operations building, or what have you, correct?
I plan to go in there and I'm scanning for targets.
Okay, they don't see you yet, but you do see. So you're like peeking through windows or something to that effect. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, we haven't made it to the door yet.
Okay. Yeah, you see. Well, you know what? I already let the cat out of the bag. Otherwise, that probably should have been a observation roll. But yeah, you see a couple of people. It looks like, kind of standing around. It looks like.
I mean, are they people? Are they armed? Are they wearing uniforms?
Let me verify something. That's not the right token, anyways. So let me get rid of that one, and then. Scroll down, scroll down. That's the one I wanted. There. They definitely appear to be people.
Yeah, as opposed to what?
Not
oh,
people?
dude.
Okay.
At least we know it's not sentient alien xenomorph office workers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're people.
Oh, meme of that. We've conquered the earth. What do we do now?
Do either of them look like they're armed?
They don't appear to be, from what you can tell, unless you want to make another observation roll or something.
Not really. I mean, if I don't see any obvious weapons,
Yeah, you don't
and
see
they're
obvious
not my
weapons.
team.
Yeah, you don't see obvious
So-
weapons.
Well, since I know which direction to look, I'm gonna pie the doorway, and as soon as the first one is revealed, I'm shooting it in the face.
Okay, give me 1 second, because apparently these fuckers do not have the equipment on them that they're supposed to have. So, ein moment, please. Let's see.
I feel like we should come up with like a word for Pike's default move of shoot them in the face. He does it so often. He needs like a catchphrase at this point.
Boom, headshot. Boom, headshot.
Pretty much.
All right.
They're not going to survive this.
All right, so you're
But,
going in? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, since I already know they're there, I'm gonna try. I'm looking to come around the corner and surprise round one of them.
Okay.
I kind of wish I had
You know what?
Wescott's flashbang grenades right about now.
Let me think about this. I'm trying to figure out if you could surprise them. They're in passive mode, but as soon as they detect threat, they immediately respond. So I wonder.
But I'm not stepping in for both of them to see me. The one that's gonna show up first when I pie is I'm just shooting it immediately in the face.
Okay.
I already know it's there.
So
I know
you're
what I
going
need.
for this guy, effectively,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get these out of the way so I can get this right. All right. I will allow that, but let me do this first.
Stealth sniper.
I'm going to begin the combat. Actually, hold that thought.
They're not red team, kill all blue team, even though they don't know they're blue team.
Where did you? Am I missing?
Passion.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, I'm gonna roll initiative and then we'll do this. Oh, you're first anyway, so.
So does that mean I get my surprise shot and then I get to go first?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
allow that this time around, you son of a bitch. Because if you didn't know, I'm actively trying to kill the player characters here, but they keep outsmarting me.
I mean, you already almost killed Bayback and 2 Marines.
Yeah, I know.
Just getting here.
Hey, I got 2 people chilling at 1 HP right now, man.
Oh my fuck! How many goddamn dice is that? 13 dice?
I'm a sniper.
Did you take this weapon focus after I picked it up?
Not for this gun.
You could take it for that gun too.
I could just get 2 more dice. Trying to decide if I want to push this or not. Yeah, I'm gonna push it.
He's trying to get more damage for those that might be wondering why he's gonna push it. But now he has to roll stress because he's trying too hard.
I ran out of ammo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right.
So 9 armor piercing damage.
Not 2. Hold on. Something's not adding up.
I've got 7 successes.
Oh, it says it right there. Okay, total of
and
7.
I'm putting it all into damage. So
Okay,
that's
so it's 9
damage.
armor piercing.
Mhm.
What? Why am I getting a warning?
Because they don't have armor.
Okay.
So he's just done.
No, he is not done. However, what you end up doing is you almost effectively obliterate this fucker. It drops, and you notice.
Wait, normally, unless you're doing it on purpose, normally the generic bad guys don't get crits; they just die. It's like the innate.
No, you're right, and these are kind of moves. Actually,
unless they're zombies. I don't put it past the UPP not to make a zombie virus, man.
I mean, both sides are actively working with DNA and doing some really wild shit. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll leave it on this one. The other one will be more of a mook. But this one drops, and his legs are... Smoke is just pouring out from the bullet holes around his legs and hips. And it just begins trying to crawl towards you. The second one, even though it's not exactly his turn, he's not actually going to do a turn yet. You see him activate, for lack of a better word, and he is reaching for a pistol in what appears to be a holster or something like that at the small of his back. It is now Sergeant Pike's turn again.
Well, at least I disabled the first guy.
He's trying to crawl to you. I don't know if that's disabled.
I mean, anything at 0 hit points is disabled. All it can do is crawl around and call for help and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I drop the scope rifle and use my move to pull the pulse rifle from its sling.
Uh-huh. That is 3 damage so far. Well, 2 plus 3 successes.
I'm going to look at my stunts here real quick.
And you are shooting at the one that just dropped, whose legs are now the...
Nope, I'm shooting at the fresh one since I dropped the first guy.
Gotcha.
I'm going to make it drop the pistol.
Okay.
And it's not really any way to push it back to. So yeah, I'll do the 4 damage and I'll send the pistol flying.
All right. His pistol does exactly that, and he gets rocked by a handful of shots. And then the pistol, you see, literally tumbles out of his hand as he was attempting to take aim and return fire. I forgot to begin combat. It is now Mr. Crawley Boy's turn. He is going to try to crawl towards you, and you see there is a distinct lack of emotion on his face, and instead of blood pouring out of the number of bullet holes you put into him already, it's actually this white milky fluid.
Oh, I just looked at the initiative thing. They're fighting Joes. They don't look like people.
Do they?
They're very obviously synthetic.
Okay, then I apologize. I was wondering, and I didn't see it in the description, and I thought I had read it at some point previously that they are more humanoid than they are human looking.
So you did the Alien Isolation game? Those are maintenance Joes. It's the same model. These ones are just the fighting version.
Yeah, gotcha. I've never played that game. One of these days.
So
I'll
they've got
get
like
around to
the robotic eyes, and they've got like the plastic white skin with all the lines through it and stuff.
it. Right. Yeah. So these are not people. These are very clearly Joes of some sort. Clearly the fighting ones, because this one is actively closing to you. You
Which
are
is a war crime.
well.
This is in fact a war crime.
Listen,
Fighting
nobody
Joes are
here
war
is gonna.
crimes.
Listen,
Fighting
nobody
Joes
here is
are
gonna
very
report
common
anybody
war
for a
crime.
war crime right now.
Yeah, it's just a fun fact because Geneva only applies on Earth. But
Well, there was
fighting Joes are actually a war crime.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember reading about that. It was like the fighting Joes or using androids for combat was completely outlawed by like everybody.
Yep, synthetics in combat.
Yep. Speaking of fighting Joes, this one whose legs are completely mangled is crawling towards you and will be making an attempt to grapple you. As soon as I figure out which skill I want to use, I believe. Oh, it's just close combat, right?
Yeah.
But you have an oppose option, don't you? For my one success that I got?
Yeah, I can try to block it.
Okay. Well, make your block effort, which I believe is also with a close combat. Am I wrong?
Yep.
All right. You're rolling some more stress, my friend. But you did beat the block if your stress is good. Yep. So he does not. You're able to fend him off, or fend its feeble attempts to grab you off. Watts, it is your turn, my friend. What would you like to do? In front of you, Pike has dropped one android, shot a bunch of holes into the second android. It is now currently attempting to keep the legless android from grappling. Basically, the legless
Did he
android
use
is
a,
ankle biting right now.
non-silenced weapon on that second one?
Yeah.
Then I'm shooting the one on the ground with a non-silenced rifle.
The one on the ground?
You don't want to shoot the one that's still standing?
Oh, I thought you said you dropped that one.
No, he dropped the first one, and now it's trying to bite
shoot
his
the one
ankles.
that's still standing.
That is 2 successes, but roll a panic.
Okay, that's out of ammo.
Yep.
Ammo.
Yep. So you have 2 successes with a base damage of 2. What would you like to do to this guy?
Shoot him.
Well,
We've already disarmed him. You might as well just juice the damage.
Yeah, damage him.
All right. So
Shoot.
my math says 4 total damage. Does that sound right?
Yep, it's 4 damage.
All right. That will kill this guy. And what happens is, there is a wild dump of, I don't know, 30 or 40 pulse ammo or pulse rifle rounds into this guy, and somewhere along the way, whatever is housed inside its head is obliterated. A large portion of its center torso is obliterated, and what's left of it falls over into this milky spray of gunk and spaghetti noodle like nerve clusters. Good job. Yeah, ill indeed. Sergeant Pike, you are currently trying to keep a crippled android from biting your ankles. What would you like to do to it at this point?
I'm just going to reach down it's broken, so I'm just going to reach down and tear its head off.
Okay, make your close combat roll. And I believe I get a counter to that, do I not? I feel like I do. I think what I'll do is I'll make a counter roll. But at a -2. Total of 3 successes. I am going to do a -2 modifier because he doesn't have legs. But that is not enough to beat yours. So yeah, pop goes the weasel, I believe is the phrase that the kids use. And you now can have the head of a fighting Joe, as what little life is left in its eyeballs drains as milky white fluid coursing down the side of your arm. Well, the side of your suit arm, I should say. Congratulations, you won the fight.
Watts
Go-
just looks at it, looks at
Go-
Pike. Do I need to tie that to your backpack?
Yes.
You almost made me spit my water out when you said that.
I mean, he did do that on the last
He
mission. It's
did.
very
That's why I
obviously-
almost died laughing right there.
It's like Pike is. This fight was too short for Pike.
Does
Pike
Pike need to go kick the other
violence. So he just looks over at Watts and says, "Do the computer shit," and
one?
reloads
Watts
his
just
guns.
grins because he knows exactly how that mood works, and he walks over here.
And I'm gonna reload my guns and like
I mean,
take a
Watts would
defensive position in case something comes through the door after us.
Okay, well that's a good thing, and that's a great place to I think that's a good spot to leave it up. I think it's a little bit early, but if we get too much further into it, we're gonna get deep into it, I think. So I think now is a fair time to go into our closeout section here. Actually, let me make a note really quick, just so I don't forget. Let's see. Page, edit. Let's see. That is Watts getting ready to go into the computer room.
Yeah.
You know, checking for traps and all that jazz.
Yep. Pike is pulling security at a door. Everyone else is outside the wall. Near the southern. Oh. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay. A little early, but we are going to wrap because, like I said, if we get too much further into it, things are going to get a little crazy. So, pull up my closeout notes here. And let's talk about experience points. That's our first thing to do. Did you participate? So all 5 characters will get a free experience point for that because all 5 characters did participate.
Yay.
The next question, as you're updating that, did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? Wescott, yes. Presumably, I should say. I'm assuming yes.
I mean,
because
I
she's-
stood up and shot a turret.
Yeah,
shooting
yeah.
at me.
You're definitely doing something to try to keep everybody alive to get back home and safe. Any other arguments for anything as far as risking sacrificing for furthering of agendas? Okay. Did you risk your life for your buddy? Wescott, perhaps?
Yes.
I want
Because-
to-
Go ahead.
you first.
I think Ro is thinking.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I mean, my agenda and my buddy kind of go hand in hand in this respect. So when I typically trigger one, I often trigger the other.
Fair. Who
Just
is
nice.
who is Wescott's buddy again?
Still Pike.
Still Pike, okay. Kane, you were getting ready to say something, I think.
I would like to argue that I took solo rear to try to bait whatever was chasing us so that it wouldn't attack the rest of the group. So
Okay.
I would like to argue that Pike made himself a vulnerable target on the walk to protect Wescott and the others.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not asking this in a way to like present the opening to you, but correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you did state that Pike was going to hang back a little bit further than what otherwise would be considered normal. Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. In that case, then yes, Pike, you get a point for either personal agenda. Well, no, I'm sorry, buddy.
For the buddy. Yeah.
Anybody else before I move on to the next one? Okay. Did you challenge or stand up to your rival? Eye of the Tiger.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Everybody that made a panic roll, which I think is at least 3, possibly 4 out of the 5. I know Babak would have gotten this point, except he's an NPC, so nobody cares. Did you overcome a dangerous event? There were 2 different dangerous. Well, actually, there was a few. So everybody, I'm just gonna blanket statement this one. Each of the 5 characters gets this one because if it wasn't the insertion, it was the turret. If it wasn't either of those 2, it was the 2 fighting Joes inside. So everybody gets that one. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Fighting Joes.
Yeah.
That counts. So that's Pike and Watts.
We came here looking for evidence of them fucking around down here, and we've got our first evidence of a war crime.
Yeah. You could definitely throw. I mean, it's not going to be as big as what you might be expecting to find here, but it's definitely on the docket.
It just means we'll get this XP again next session.
Yeah, exactly. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? I don't think there was, other than the insertion itself, and that's kind of arguable because everybody did.
Watts did serious magic with putting a demo charge on that cannon.
That's a fair point. Demo charge, dude, gets that point. I will allow that.
I orchestrated a DM frustrating ambush on the Fighting Joes.
Okay, I'm gonna barely allow it, but I will allow it. But only barely.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. And only because you did mention at least twice pieing the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, did you earn any money? Nobody's being docked their pay yet, so yes, you get that point. All right. Feedback and outros. Rodance, start us off. What kind of feedback you got? What kind of outgoing comments do you have?
I'm wondering if the mission on this planet will take as many sessions as the mission on the last planet. I hope not.
I mean,
who fucking knows?
Judging by the way it's going right now, I can't answer that question in good conscience because I know the answer. And well, let me rephrase that. Not so much that I know the answer, how many sessions it's going to take. I know what else is going to potentially take place here, so I can't answer that question faithfully without revealing.
I didn't do it, but I was tempted to have Mother pick the targeting point for the drop pods to be the center of the facility, so our pods would land dispersed throughout the site.
Had you brought that up, I might have added bonus dice to the railgun shooting at you guys.
It was tempting, but I didn't do it.
I will say this before I move on to the next person. I will say this: the fact that we got this fucking close to losing at least half the team on insertion alone, I definitely had a moment where like, how's this episode gonna go now?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how good our characters are. This game is hyper lethal.
Oh yeah, listen, it doesn't matter how great you are. When you're falling through the sky at terminal velocity and you can't stop yourself, you're fucked. Renance, you got anything else?
Just finished typing up my notes, and I am now debating what talents I need to roll.
Luke, what kind of feedback and/or other comments do you have?
Honestly, I think it's going to take a little bit less time than the last mission overall, even though there might be more stuff to do. Just because we have a much better understanding of the game.
Yes, there's definitely that aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had to fumble through that mission to learn what it is that we were doing in this game.
Why did my computer just zoom in on somebody and I'm not even touching the mouse?
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, that wasn't the only one?
No.
Did it when I typed in Watts.
Oh.
It brings you to the character that's speaking.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, shit, you got back in.
Yeah, so I think it's going to go pretty well. I think that now that we're finally on the ground, it's going to go a little bit better and smoother than the insertion, as usual, apparently. Because the insertion always sucks.
Well, not that I was there at D-Day, but I always feel like the initial landing is the roughest part of any sort of, like, invasion or beachhead or anything. And once you get through that, it's relatively easy to get through. What was that?
We are 2 for 2 for very dangerous insertions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think we might need to update our dead list, our dead pool.
Oh,
for us all just dying on insertion.
Yeah.
It can't be just dies on insertion. It has to be like randomly / arbitrarily dies on insertion. Through no fault of their own. Anything else, Luke?
No, that was pretty much everything.
All right, Kane, what do you got? Feedback, outro comments, whatever.
Um, I think next session I'm going to try to do something a little different with Pike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to depend on what we find out about these buildings.
Hmm.
I'm wanting to see what happens when Pike takes these pills.
So I haven't brought it up yet, but I was thinking that Pike had, because we're in the suits and stuff, and Pike wants the option,
Yeah.
that he's got a pill tucked in his cheek.
Ooh.
So he hasn't swallowed it yet.
Ooh, you know what that means. You know my GM ass has got to put something in here for that. Because now...
Or he'll have it taped to the inside of his helmet with the sticky tape so he can just like lean forward and lick it.
I mean, that...
Take to the faceplate right in front of his mouth. So
You know how astronauts have that... You know how astronauts would have, like... They used to talk about this, and I have this problem. I feel like a lot of people do. Like, the minute you put a mask or something like that on and your face starts itching, but you can't touch it, astronauts would have that same problem. And so once they seal up, like, their nose would itch. So they would literally tape or glue a little piece of Velcro on the inside of their helmet so they could, like, lean forward and scratch their nose so it wouldn't fucking itch. And when I heard about that, I was like, yo, that's fucking smart. Why didn't it take a rocket scientist to figure that shit out?
Yeah, you never know how itchy you can be until you put on like a full plate of armor either.
Yeah, or gas mask.
Yeah, gas mask. Oh my god, yeah.
Can we please not talk about itching anymore? Because it's making me itch just talking about it.
Yeah, same.
I'm actually a little bit excited here with the stress going up, so we can get another overkill Pike.
God.
I'm wanting the stress to go up so I can lose another player character or a player character. We're this close. First session into this mission, we got two on one.
First thing that sneezes on me, I'm gonna have to second wind check. I thought falling out of the sky almost made me have to do it right then.
Yeah,
because I only have 4 hit points.
Yeah, and you took 3.
And the thing to keep in mind with the second wind is you still
have the injuries.
You take you do the critical roll, and then you roll the second wind roll. So you could still die outright, but you will still take a crit.
Yeah.
Fuck! I almost lost my damn NPC. Fucking insertion. Haven't rolled a goddamn critical on him.
Okay.
No, listen, that's what happens. It's wartime, baby. Anything can happen.
I would have blamed Mother for that one.
Mother would have been like, I don't know what to tell you. Statistics. All right.
I saw a video game do it. I wanted to do it myself, like.
Yeah, Warren would probably totally do a hot drop like that again if things weren't firing at him, but right now he's still pissed that they fired at him. Or excuse me, Watts. Yes, Watts would be all pissed about it.
Yeah.
Because he probably would think it was fun if it wasn't under fire.
Oh yeah, I could see in any science fiction universe, Baumgartner jumps being like parachute drops for civilians and being fun things to do and costing an arm and a damn leg.
Sometimes I still don't understand the obsession with jumping out of perfectly good airplanes, but apparently some people enjoy it.
Yeah, and now we have people parachutes. And now we have people doing it from the very edge of space.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, my stepfather tells me he enjoyed it too, and I still think he's crazy.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
I mean, he went through 10 years in the Army. I think that in and of itself is an indicator of the crazy.
Hey! I did 21. That means I'm doubly crazy, right? Or is it actually like squared? So it's actually like 4 times.
Crazy squared.
Nah, you stuck it out for the 20-year retirement thing that they do.
That's definitely sticking it out is definitely a way to phrase it. All right, are we good for next week? Our normal Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will probably be forever working a touch at the beginning of our sessions because I don't think I've gone like a single Tuesday in the last month where something doesn't break and make me run late.
It's okay.
Today something broke and I had to fix it again.
It's like the Wednesday morning meetings my boss has us come to, and it's like it's the one where because I tend to come in a little bit later before my son started living with me, I would have to come in earlier than normal for me, and so the 1 or 2 times where I actually was able to get up on time to come in early enough to show up on time for these meetings, traffic fucked me.
Yeah.
So, I got you. I feel you. All right, my friends, that is it for us here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Do appreciate the support as always. Let's see, what do we got coming up next? Tomorrow night, I might do a stream. I have some game prep I got to do for a recording session on Thursday. So if I don't tomorrow night, maybe Friday, and then of course Saturday, knocking on wood, Star Wars one-shots returns. And then of course we should be back into our normal weekly schedule-ish, which the schedule is not very heavy. So we have more content coming. Just keep your eyes open. If you enjoyed the show, exclamation Discord or exclamation Discord in the stream chat or in the video description below, you will see the Discord link so you can join the server and hang out with us. Otherwise, of course, as always, likes and subscribes and hell, throw money at me. I can do weird things for money. That's not... I'm just going to stop talking. I don't want to throw myself out there, but yet I do. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we're out of here. We'll see you next time.